Hey, what's up, One Way? So I'm here with Patrick, and we are going to start recording our classes and our techniques over here. And we want to share with you, mainly for the students, but also to the general public. We know not everybody got beginners classes at their gyms, and we know not everybody got access to all this information. And we're going to do our best to, share the way we feel, the way we see Jiu-Jitsu, the way we approach the art. And this video is brought to you by Hayabusa. They make amazing gear for Jiu-Jitsu, gi and no gi, striking, boxing. Now they have a Mayweather collection. They have a lot of stuff going on. So if you're interested in buying gear, striking or grappling, go in this link below. I'm gonna share with you some discount codes and everything. So if you want to support the channel, you can get some stuff from Hayabusa. So the topic of the week, One Way, we're talking about lasso, right? So last week we were sweeping in the lasso, and this week we are passing the lasso. So at Worlds last weekend, a lot of people were using the lasso to, one, attack, and two, to defend. So the biggest thing in lasso, you can set up from the close guard. I actually do that. If I go for a tournament, I'll jump close guard, and then I'll get my grips, adjust my grips, and then I open up to the lasso, right? But let's talk about here, first thing. So I need a grip, and most people when they get started, they don't know how to grab, right? And the gripping, Jiu-Jitsu and Judo is your main friend, right? You wanna have a nice grip, a solid grip, so you can control whatever you wanna control. So a lot of people are gonna grab like this, and they're gonna have silly grips. The way I like to do is by opening with my thumb, and then I pull and create a little handle on this gi with my hand. You see? So now, as soon as I get here, I don't start doing my things yet. I pull a little more fabric into this thing, right? So then I do the same thing on the other side, and most of the times, I'll have to push my hips to the left or to the right, depending on my flexibility. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu my whole life, so I can do my techniques pretty easy. But let's say you don't. Let's say you're just getting started, and you're in your 30s, right? So you need to adjust your hips in order to do whatever you want to do. So if I want to do lasso to my right side, I'm going to usually put a spider on the left, and now my foot goes on the ground, and I'm going to adjust my hip. So if I want to bring my heel to my face over here, it's harder. But if I adjust my hips, now I have more space to come through, right? And the goal with the lasso is to place a hook right behind the shoulder right here. So I'm gonna go one, place the hook right there, but at the same time, I don't wanna stay here, because if I stay here, they're gonna glue both of my knees together, and they're gonna start applying a lot of pressure. And if you've been training Jiu-Jitsu for more than 10 years, your knees are not perfect, right? So if anytime somebody puts pressure on me, my knee's gonna get out of place. So that's why I'm never there. So whenever I go for the lasso, so let's go back again, spider, adjust the hips, go here, immediately I go back flat. Because now if it tries to put both of my knees together, he cannot. It's gonna be very hard for him. And on top of that, with that hook right there, I can push my opponent, I can pull my opponent. So I'm not just controlling the arm and the angle, I'm also controlling his posture, which is huge if I'm playing guard, right? So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. That's the first drill I want you guys to do. If you wanna develop this lasso game, you go hips out, go back, place on spider, boom. Now we're back in the middle, right? So I'm gonna go straight, foot on the ground. Most of the times they're gonna have a grip, and that's when I'm gonna also break the grip. So look, I pull, boom, foot on the ground. Now I place the lasso there, but I don't wanna stay here. I go back flat. So now from there, I can adjust. Now I can replace my grip with other setups and other things. I can go to arm drags and loop chokes and all that if I have the right position and angle on my hips, right? So boom, you go back, place the lasso. So that little drill right there is gonna save you a lot of time when you're rolling and competing, because now everything is gonna be automatic. It's gonna be muscle memory. The more you do, the easier and faster it's gonna be for you to break out these grips and set up your hooks. So that would be, the first drill you wanna play when you wanna learn, when you're getting introduced to the lasso, right? So now another thing, some people, as soon as you start setting up the lasso, they're gonna stand up on you. So let's say I'm going for the lasso and he's gonna feel that I'm gonna get him off balance that way, so he's gonna stand up, right? So that's when this hook, you're gonna start using that between the legs. So from there, same thing. If I try to sweep my opponent from here, it's gonna be hard, and he can also sprawl all the way back and glue both of my knees together, right? That's the situation I don't wanna be on. I don't wanna be in that situation where they're gluing both of my knees together, especially if they're heavier than me and stronger than me, right? So anytime I'm setting, most of the techniques that I'm gonna set up with the lasso, I'm gonna go there, I set up, now I go back flat. How do I do that? I put my my foot on the ground, and now I go back flat. So from there right now, it's very, very hard for them to pass my guard or even break this grip. All I have to do right there is to extend my leg, and he's gonna go over my face. But we're gonna start talking about this sweep soon, but I wanted you to know that if they stand up, it's not a reason for you to panic or freak out. And that's what most people are gonna do when they first learning. Oh my God, they stood up, let me just let go. So no, you can also place these hooks between the legs. If they have a leading leg on you, if they have the right leg leading, you can also do lasso de la riva. Sorry, bro. You can also do lasso de la riva. So over there now you're doing de la riva with the lasso, which is also controlling the posture, and you're controlling a lot of things. And this foot right here can always kick his leg away. Because if he tries to square up with me and I push this, he's gonna be sideways again. And now I can go over a lot of things from this very position. So it's always good for you to understand that no matter what they do, you always have a good option. Of course, everything has a counter. Everything, if people anticipate what you're gonna do, is gonna be harder. But the more you learn how to play the lasso, the longer you know, the more patient you are, the more options you have, your life is gonna be much easier. Especially if you're a master's division, you're 35, you're 40, and you're going against younger people that are gonna be much faster, they have much more energy, and they're training all day. Bro, if you have good grips and you're holding the lasso, that's gonna give you some time to breathe. I'm not saying that you're gonna be stalling in practice, but I'm saying that you're gonna be able to move a little bit. So let's go over a few sweeps. I'm gonna go very basic today, and then, later on maybe we'll go a little more advanced, but we have a few options for a sweep here, right? So as soon as I set up my lasso, I go back. Most of the times, they're gonna try to glue both of my knees together. So yeah, they have a few options, right? So if they go in here, what I'm gonna try to do is to catch this leg. So with my free hand, instead of staying on the arm, I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna grab. So let me turn to show you the grip. So I'm gonna go here, look, and as I'm framing, at the same time I'm framing, I'm gonna wait for the right opportunity to grab his pants. So from there now I have a few options. Some I like more, some I don't like as much. But now I'm gonna act like I'm gonna let him pass my guard. So look, I step all the way to the outside. So the moment they try to pass my guard, I pull both of my knees to my chest, and now I just rotate my hip. So from there, if you notice, his weight is on my legs over here. He's very light. There is no weight for him to counter or even do anything against me right now. So I'm gonna go there, boom, hand on the ground, come up. So that's a very, very easy sweep. And also there is a little trick that I use. To be honest, I've beat some world champions using this little trick. So over here, when I'm going for the lasso, most of the times they want this hand behind my leg. So that's the motion they need to do. So this right here, don't do against white belts. That's kind of rude and mean. But most of the times when they're doing this motion right here, they don't even notice. They're giving you this wrist lock right here. So all you have to do is to tuck yourself in, go in, and push this wrist. If you notice here, it's perfect. So as you're pulling the arm, you have good grip, you're tucking your elbow in, you're pulling the hand to you. Your hand is not loose, you're not relaxed over here. You're kind of making traction on his biceps. So as he's doing that, look, easy for me to just push. And there's not much they can do to avoid that. And from there, most of the times they're gonna scream, they go, you know, so you got an easy submission from there. So if they stand up, if they notice you're gonna go for the, they notice you're gonna go for the lasso and they stand up. So before they deadlift your hand here, your grip here, you're gonna place this hook right there. So now if they try to deadlift you, try to stand up, they're gonna get themselves off balance. But if they don't, if they just there, look, I'm gonna step between his leg and I'm gonna try to push my hips under his hips. Boom. So from here now, I got it. Especially if I have this arm right here, it's gonna be very easy. If I don't have the arm, all I have to do is to push, push. But now that he got the arm there, I'm gonna keep pushing the arm, look. And now, I go for the sweep. Very easy, boom. I can even replace that grip. So if I wanna keep controlling that arm. Most of the times I don't do it, but if I want to, I can. The other option is if I have the arm, right? If I already have the arm, I'm not gonna let go of the arm just for the sweep. So I'm gonna go here, regardless if they just put one leg up or both legs up. So look, I'm gonna get under, and now I push the hand that way as I'm extending the leg. So I'm gonna go here, extend the leg, boom, over there. So from there, I can replace that grip over here. I don't have to necessarily let go to come up. I can replace, hand on the ground. I can go over the leg if I want to go for the 3/4. I can go under the leg if I want to do the leg drag. So depending on your knowledge and your skills and your ability to make the transitions and the connections between both techniques, you can do whatever I want. Most of the times I go straight here. Some other times I'll go under the leg, boom. And then I'm gonna start working on my leg drags and stuff like that from here. But you have a lot of options. Over unders, double unders, you know, you have a lot of options from there. So that's it for today. You know, 2 little sweeps and 1 little wrist lock, you know, as a bonus for you. You know, we're gonna keep posting techniques. We're gonna keep uploading new tricks and techniques for you, especially for the students. You know, if you miss a class, if you miss a week, you know, we're gonna be here for you. But, you know, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, One Way. And I see you guys on the next video, man. Peace.